I don't know about you, but I'm getting a bit sick of hearing about all these new skills that we should be acquiring during lockdown, or how we can successfully juggle working from home with kids with the help of a rigorous schedule and a range of fun crafting activities. Hi, I'm Sarah and thanks for watching this video where I'm going to give you a few realistic tips for getting through the lockdown whilst juggling work and kids. Now, I've worked at home for the past 3 years and 2 of those were whilst I was still working as a lawyer. And I have 2 children who are now 5 and 8, so I did quite a bit of this work in their younger years. So here are some of my top tips for surviving. Number 1, give rewards, also known as bribery. I've done this many times over the years when I've had to make an important phone call to a client whilst they're at home. I just ask them to stay quietly watching a cartoon whilst I'm on the phone, and then we can play a game, go in the garden, have some chocolate. The last one seems to be the strongest motivator for some reason, I'll be honest, but apparently there's only so many times in a day you can give them chocolate, so be sure to use it tactically. This also works for homework they don't want to do. So my 5-year-old had the world's biggest strop about doing a few lines of letters the other day. I offered him a chocolate button if he got them done, and we were off. Pavlov's child. Next tip, don't be afraid of screens. This crisis is not the time to be feeling guilty about how many hours of screen time your kids are getting. I'll say it louder for the folks at the back. Do not feel guilty for the screen time right now. It's not going to do them any lasting damage, and if it buys you an hour or two to get a quick bit of work done, then have at it. If you can't get over the mummy guilt, or daddy guilt, then have a look at some of the fab educational apps that are out there that can help your kids to learn whilst they watch and play. So some of our favourites in this house are Reading Eggs, Teach Your Monster, Hit the Button and Hairy Letters. They don't realise they're learning. CBeebies has also got some great educational shows. BBC bite-sized videos are great for kids over 5. And for your older kids, pop on a film, whack it on mute, put the subtitles on, bang, they're reading. Next tip, get them in the garden. If you're lucky enough to have an outdoor space, then get the kids out in it. Give them a watering can to water the plants, or ask them to count how many bugs they can find. Just don't bring them in. Anything to keep the little darlings busy for a few minutes so that you can breathe and reset. Next tip, lower your expectations. You're not going to be able to do the same amount of work that you can get done while the kids are at school or nursery. It just isn't going to happen. Now is the time to really look at that to-do list and cut, cut, cut. Delegate what you can, ditch what you can, bump what you can. When it comes to kids and schoolwork as well, I know that there is loads of white noise and competitive parenting showing up, showing elaborate study schedules, creative masterpieces and stories of their 4-year-old who sits studiously for 6 hours a day. This is rubbish. And even if it is true, there's absolutely no reason to let these people bother you or impact what you do. Keeping them safe, fed and loved is your benchmark for now. Anything else is a bonus. Next tip, talk to colleagues and clients. Once you know what you can realistically achieve work-wise, it's time to talk to your colleagues and your clients to manage their expectations. If you have people that you update daily, normally, they may have to accept that it will be once a week or once a fortnight during this crisis. Do you really need to attend all of the firm's team Zoom calls? Let them know what deadlines you're going to need to push back and be honest about what's going on. People value authenticity and honesty, and it helps you all to collaborate together to make a plan. Next tip, take shortcuts. Yeah, this is the one time where we need to put aside our perfectionist type A hats that us lawyers like to wear and cut corners where we can. Buy food ready to heat. Create a few standard update emails that you can cut and paste for clients. Next tip, don't say schoolwork. One tip that I learnt pretty quick with my kids was not to say the words schoolwork or anything like that. It would send them into full-on Kevin mode. Instead of asking my youngest to do his handwriting, I'd ask him to do mummy a favour and write a list of all the foods he wants to eat or what activities he wants to do when lockdown's over. He finds that way more fun and the end result's the same. He's practicing his writing. This can be applied to most things, so help me count the items from the shopping bag, go and find me 5 things that are coloured yellow in the house. He's doing the work, He just doesn't know it. With my eldest, I've got him writing me stories about Doctor Who, which is his current favourite thing. And he doesn't see it as a chore because he really loves it and he really enjoys writing about it. My next tip, the screen time scavenger hunt. My two boys are a tad addicted to Minecraft and Lego games on the Xbox at the moment. In the early days of lockdown, this was becoming a bit of a problem. So I introduced a new game called the Screen Time Scavenger Hunt. So before they even turned on the Xbox, they have to each find me 5 things to go in the bin, 5 things to go back where they belong, 5 things for the washing machine, and 5 things for the dishwasher. It became a bit of a game and they enjoyed it, but it helped get the house tidy as well. Now this game has also now evolved that they have to do a little bit of reading, get dressed and do their teeth as well as a kind of minimum. So most days it really helps us just to get to the base level without the drama. My next tip, spread your hours out. Now this one's a bit inevitable, I guess. As we're struggling to work from home with the kids, it's only natural that those hours are going to stretch out beyond the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Be conscious about this rather than letting it force you into 7 12-hour days. Spend some time at the start of the week grouping together tasks of similar energies and use this knowledge to help you work more effectively. One of the biggest time wasters in the day is actually shifting between energies, like when you have to stop and take a phone call in the middle of analysing a report, or when you have to stop to help your kid on the toilet whilst writing a letter to a client. When you know what hours you're willing to work, then set some boundaries around those times. Let your colleagues know when you won't be available because you'll be with your kids. And then don't look at your work phone or emails during that time. That way you can be more present to what's going on, in the room when you're with them. Then when you are working, they're more likely to be loving when you need them to be, like bringing you a Charmander to cuddle whilst you're working. Now, this is a tough one, I admit, and I found it really hard to be honest around my availability with others. But this pandemic is affecting everyone, so it's more likely to be accepted that we can't be on call 24/7. Make sure to also to plan in lots of time for you to get enough sleep and some downtime to look after yourself. Which comes on to my next tip, be kind to yourself. Like we said, with the lowering of expectations, you can't be Superwoman or Superman right now, and nor should you ever have to be. Bring compassion to yourself and make sure that you're putting your needs and the needs of your family at the top of your priority list. It has never been more important to take care of our health pillar and to keep our bodies strong and healthy. So yes, have the extra large glass of gin or Prosecco, but drink buckets of water too. Yes, have the chocolate bar, but load up on fruit and vegetables as well. And make sure you are incorporating a bit of movement into your day, even if that is dancing around the kitchen to peanut butter jelly time with the kids. I would love to know, do you have any other tips to add on for coping in lockdown with the kids to add to this list? Realistic ones only, please. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.